become part of our thing. Me and Ladybird go down with the truck because walking clear downtown areas, like kind of long walk, and there's a lot of where there's not a sidewalk. So it's like not totally safe. I mean, I'm not like scared, but it's not totally safe because it's a sidewalk. And Ladybird likes right in the back of the truck. It's good practice for a puppy dog. Randomly started talking to some like reality TV people off Craigslist. What's funny is that website's got like such a bad rep that like people don't use it anymore. It's just like, and then the reality TV show people are looking for people like, it sounded like they wanted like an abusive drug addict couple, like, or like extreme situations. Like, it was like, are you and your ex running a business together? Blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm just gonna put an application. And I just apply for everything. And I put in their application. One thing is, people don't realize this. When you're looking for an employee or somebody to do something, it's hard to find a contractor to come out. Like, let's say, like, the last couple of weeks, I need an electrician for this remodel I'm doing. I need an electrician. I had to get a licensed electrician out there because I had a permit on the remodel. To get a licensed electrician, it took 3 weeks because one guy blew me off. He said he's going to do it this week. He blew me off. The next guy did the same thing. He said he was going to do it this week, and then he blew me off. And then the third guy, it took him like a day, a half a day to do it. Didn't take nothing. And, you know, it's like a small, easy, it just needed an electrician. And he did it, like, next day. And then, it didn't pass the inspection. So he had to come out the next week. Because he was booked up for the rest of the week. And then the next week he comes out and does it and passes the inspection. So it was like a month waiting on one electrician to do one thing, like one room of electrician stuff. And I just needed one guy, one electrician to do it. And it's like, there are a million electricians. Like, in, you know, if you look up electricians, if you go out and you're like trying to find an electrician, there's like electrician contractors like advertising that they'll do the work. But when you actually try to get somebody to do the work, it's like way harder. So when you go and you try to look for somebody to, like, let's say when I hire people, I'm hiring people to, like, you know, I'm doing like a lot of remodel work stuff. So I'll be hiring people to do a remodel, or like I'll have a tenant that like messed the house up, and you know, they kick holes in the wall and they just trash the place and they like poop all over the floor or whatever, you so people would be crapping on the floor, not paying the rent, and I'll evict them. And then I'll go and hire somebody, I'll put up a help wanted ad or whatever, and I'll say, I need somebody to come out and help me clean up this, like, duty house. And people will send me, like, an email, and they'll say, like, oh yeah, I'm interested, I'm so interested, I need a job so bad, I'm so broke, and I'm so poor, and you're, like, the only job that has ever existed that would ever hire me for anything, and I'm gonna starve to death. And I'm like, okay, so you're completely desperate, and you need the money, and you're dying, and you're gonna starve to death, and you have no skills, and you're, like, decrepit because you, like, broke your knee 4 years ago and it still hurts today. Like, you're such a sad story. And guess what happens? They don't show up. Or they'll show up one time and that's it. So that is the workforce when you go looking for people to do something. And that's for, like, the low end, the low end of jobs. Like, I'm imagining if you're looking for, like, one is they say that this happens in actors for TV shows, and they say that's a job that's sought after, which it is, because it's just fun. People don't even do it because there's money involved. They do it for fun. And, like, people like, there's some people, they like being seen on TV. They like being known of, like, from a TV show. I've been in a couple of movies, and people used to say, like, hey, I've seen you somewhere. And I'd be like, yeah, I was in, like, this show and this show. Now I forgot what shows they were. But I would be like, yeah, I've been in, like, these couple of shows. They were, like, really popular shows, and I never watched them, but I know it was in them. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, I used to watch that show. My daughter loves that show, right? And I'm like, yeah, I was probably in it. It's probably how you recognize me, So it's, like, a cool thing to be on TV or whatever. And I can see why they only pay people, like, not much. And I can also see why they pay, the union people more, or whatever. If that's your profession or whatever, like, a lot of people, they're actually professionals. There's also people that are just doing it for fun. And they say that it's hard to find somebody, on either of those, the professionals or the people that are doing it for fun. It's hard to find somebody to do it at all. Especially when you have a character who, like, I was just reading this Ryuk's book. It's like gothic romance. And, like, my opinion of it, personally, it is the worst, stupidest book ever. When the main character goes and starts, like, having sex with whatever the professor at the college or whatever, it sounds like rape. I'm like, she's being raped. Like, this guy is taking advantage of her. He's, like, fucking raping her. And he's like, but I'm like, and then she, like, gets all about him. Like, it was almost like what's that called? Like, Stockholm Syndrome, where, like, somebody gets, like, raped, and then they're, like, in love with the rapist. But maybe that's the point of the book, is that it's supposed to be, like, a thing about like the Stockholm syndrome and like how that is or whatever, but it just seemed like, I don't know if the person who wrote that book is a man or a transvestite or what, or if that's their fantasy, or if that's like a play on their fantasy or a play on what happened to them in real life, the author. But it was just like not pretty to read, and I couldn't see it being, but anyway, I couldn't see it being a movie. It was kind of like horrific, the book. Anyway, where was I going with this? There's Nightmare. Oh, got reality TV people talking right now. Which is funny because half of my freaking life walking around recording stuff on YouTube just for fun. So, hell, they pay me $500. They said like $2,500 a week or something on TV. They could tell me to start some problems. I'd do that. $2,500 a week. I'd go around starting problems downtown. I'd go to all the bars and get kicked out of every one of them. Probably take like 2 weeks, get $5K. It'd be like, okay, you got $25K. I mean, $2,500 for the first week, and you're kind of a boring dude. And then we're gonna give you another $2,500 for the second week. But we're only gonna do a second week if you go around getting kicked out of every freaking bar in town. I'd be like, hell yeah. I would start fights like with everybody over nothing. I'd be like, okay, another $2,500 and we'll do another week. But you gotta like actually break into bars that you've been kicked out of, and you gotta get in a fight with a transvestite. So that's part of it. There's like several transvestites around town that I don't like. Not because they have a problem with transvestites, just because like I have personal issues with a few people who I'm pretty sure are transvestites. And they might not even really be transvestites. It might be like cross-dressers or something. But guys that dress up and act like they're a girl, there are a couple of them. Not like a whole bunch of them. I know there's a whole bunch of them in Little Rock. Like there's probably at least 10 in Little Rock, like, period. But there's like probably 2 or 3 of them that I personally do not like that guy. So Lady Bird's the start of this show. So plan tonight is I like to park on this main street here. I'll usually park at the end. I'll just take whatever parking spot. Especially tonight's Friday, so take that parking lot on the end. Walk Main Street, go over the Junction Bridge. And I've been dying to go to Cash and get one of their lamb entree plates. So I'm gonna go do that. It's like probably the most expensive restaurant in town, and I've been dying for the lamb there.
Oh, put it down.
Antique motorcycle. Antique Harley. Anyway, the plan was I was gonna go to Cash, get the stuff I wanted, and then go to Air 51. Well, there's another dog in there, like yesterday. Lady Bird. Or I think she does like the other dog, but she just barks. Part of if they don't put me on TV, they're gonna possibly get some rare footage of me in a restaurant and a restaurant surrounding people. I don't know what the rules are on that.
What's up?
And if you're Hollywood people and you're just looking for people like in other cities, in other parts of the country, so you can follow them around and make a reality TV show about their fucked up lives, and you can also like tour the city and tour the area, see how it is. I always recommend this hotel over here, the Wyndham. This is the first place I stayed when I was stranded, homeless in Little Rock. There's this Wyndham right here on the river, and it's actually a nice hotel, and they have a Benihana's there. Benihana, I mean, I would never like eat there again. It's like not very good. There are better places that have like better Benihana type food. What is that called? Like Asian barbecue or whatever. But anyway, there's better places than Benihana around here, so I don't go to that Benihana. But the Wyndham, it's a good hotel. It's like one of the cheaper ones around. There are definitely better hotels. Like there are really high class hotels over here, like that DoubleTree. It's like a really high class place. But I always recommend to everybody that Wyndham. My grandpa came out here and visited one time, and he stayed at the Wyndham for like a couple days. I don't know why he didn't want to stay at my house, but whatever. So if I'm part of the camera crew or whatever, the casting people for like a show that ends up following somebody in Little Rock and documenting their whatever that they got going on, I would throw everybody in that Wyndham, like, because it's right in downtown. Like, you don't need any like car or nothing. Like, you're right in downtown. There's lots of parking space down here. This is the city with a downtown that has lots of parking space. So, and I always say for a limited time, but I've been here for 10 years and it's still like that. So who knows? And that side of town over there in 72117, that whole side of town is right near downtown. Like, it's just such a bad neighborhood that I wouldn't mess around with that area. But so is 72114. That's such a bad neighborhood. Like, you'll see a crackhead running this way, a crackhead running that way. You'll see like a crack house, like on every block there's a crack house. People going in and out. And they just built like a big apartment complex and like a bunch of nice houses over there, and people actually bought the nice houses. And I don't know if they're just vacation houses because they're on the river or what. And I don't know what they do with the foundation before they put the house on the river right there. But I'm pretty sure that they're going to be like 2 feet deep in water like almost every year, because that's what happens is the snow melts in Colorado and it fills up the Arkansas River, and the Arkansas River goes like too high, and they probably made the houses to where they have to be raised higher than that water is going to get every year. But I wouldn't want to live there. I wouldn't bet on that. I mean, this river, like, every year this whole street is flooded. Or like almost every year. You can't come down here like in that season. This whole street is flooded. It gets flooded for like, it's like a flood zone. Anything around the river. So, I don't know how they did that. How they like decided to build houses right next to the river, but good for them. Good for them for selling it. Maybe they did plan it. Maybe that's why those houses are sitting on like a 4-foot high foundation or something. Maybe the foundations are really well designed to be flooded every year. But really what drives the economy, I think, is the job market. And the thing about the politicians here compared to where is that place? Tennessee. Well, just Tennessee in general. Like, here compared to Tennessee, or I was thinking, I mean, it's true in Nashville, and it's true in Memphis. But I think anywhere in Tennessee is like, their economy and their real estate market has been taking off because the politicians have been working towards like having people pay less taxes, having the businesses pay less taxes. And so since they're so business friendly and having businesses pay less taxes, same as in Vegas, where the businesses pay like no taxes, they're doing that in Tennessee, and that's making the economy go up because it's bringing jobs there. It's bringing businesses there. So you get these businesses that are going out there because it's going to be cheaper, and they can start their like factory or whatever. And then they need all these factory workers, and now all these factory workers all need an apartment. So now everybody that's building an apartment is selling apartments. And it's all because there's no taxes. Well, they don't do that in Arkansas. Arkansas, they keep like trying to stab everybody in the back. For a long time it was like a Republican state. Now they're like trying to, I don't know, tax the crap out of everybody. And I mean, is it better that it's not crowded? Sure. You know, that's what's great about Arkansas, it's not crowded. Like, look, you got this whole big nice bridge. Like, you don't get this at like the Brooklyn Bridge or nothing, you know? You go to like a big crowded city, you get a big crowded bridge. It's full of like criminals over there. but there's no way to know. I mean, they built like a big apartment complex because they built an Amazon facility in Little Rock, and I think they flooded the real estate market. With that one apartment complex. So I think we're like one factory behind. We need one factory to make the real estate market in dire need for housing. And we need one factory that's not an Amazon warehouse, because Amazon pays like dog shit, and they keep like trying to change everything. Like, they used to be a good company to work for. Now you can't even work for them. You have to work for a temp agency now. They only use temp agencies. They were all advertising like, oh, we're such a great company to work for. Rota Gothica book. Maybe not like goth girls. Like, I turned around on like goth girls. Used to be like a thing, or I guess it is a thing these days. Like on the internet, they're like, oh, goth girls, they're hot. Like Instagram would tell you, or whatever. But like, okay, so these are like all goth characters, like they're all, they all fucking dressed black or whatever. And then it's funny how they're not like particularly specific about what they look like, because I know they're writing a movie, but just like, why was it like this? Why did she have to get like, it was so like descriptive of like actually fucking the girl, but it was in like such a way that it was like not romantic. Like, I would call it a dark non-romance. I was like, this isn't fucking romance, this is like fucking disgusting. There probably is some kind of issues like involved mental status with the author there. So look at that. It's like 36 minutes just to drive across town and walk in downtown. And we're like almost there. It's gonna be 27 minutes almost. And we're gonna take a shot of Cash. There it is. Cash restaurant. And we're gonna go in there and eat some lamb and see if the bartender is there. Who's a friend. Who's out there before? And
I have to go like 10.
that'll be it.
So what?
37 minutes.